Hello, football fanatics. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your FPL roundup. I'm excited to see who's been racking up the points over the weekend and who's had an absolute stinker. We're going to definitely dive into that. On today's show, we're going to be discussing all the usual topics, top four, top performing players, donkey of the week, how the lads on the show are getting on, and the upcoming fixtures of the weekend. So again, another jam-packed show. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and please like the video. Any kind of support, we really appreciate. First, how are you, Dan? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a very tough day, but yeah, I'm feeling good.
Good stuff, good stuff. The first thing I want to touch on, like I said, we're going to dive into all the FPL kind of stuff, but I want to touch on the United game on Monday because we haven't. I know we spoke in the group chat a little bit, but I want to speak to you about the game itself and if you had any players from FPL in your squad. So yeah, talk to me about the game and talk to me who you had in your FPL team for it.
Yeah, as part of game, actually, when we at the start of the season, I had a couple of players in my team from United. Sancho, I had Sancho, and to some point, I also kept Rashford. Then after that, those two games, I to had to change my plans and bring in someone else. But now I think I have the feel that I need to get some more United players into my FPL team. So also I had Salah. I keep Salah always in my team. So I know
I
that he will
mean,
give me.
Salah's like a guaranteed in it with points. It's just so this is what I mean. I try to say this to Sam, but when it comes to FPL, you have to put your agendas aside and all the players you hate because usually the players that you hate, like City players or Liverpool players, are usually the one like bringing the points in. So yeah,
You
I
have to
have
be
to
selfish.
kind of block
You
that
have
out
to
of my
be
mind.
selfish. Yeah, you have to be selfish when you play FPL.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what about the game Monday night, Dan? Just give us your thoughts on it. Obviously buzzing because we won 2-1. I think you just mentioned the first two games of the season, then battered off Brentford and battered off Brighton pretty much as well. But then to beat Liverpool at Old Trafford is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, so we never had that confidence that we will be going in and winning the game. I'm not sure whether anyone predicted that we're going to win. I think Silver predicted that.
Yeah.
But
Well, sorry to think on the score predictions, you had Aaron who said 3-1. Survey said we'd win. I can't remember what score it was, and then me and Sam was like, nah, no chance. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually wanted to predict a win, but then after seeing the first two games, I lost the confidence, so I predicted for a draw. But I'm glad that we turned it around and gave something for the fans to cheer about. And that game actually has set up the standards for the rest of the season. And we know that we can play in that level against the top team. Liverpool is not a bad team. I know that
Mm-hmm.
some of the players some of the players were not present, but at the same time they still had the same quality in their team. And and to be honest, we didn't play Ronaldo in our team, so we can never say that the top players are not there in their team. Even our top player is not there in the team.
Mm.
So it's all about the positivity that we have gained from this match, and from the very first minute, I think the very first move that from Martinez challenging Salah, so that set up the whole game, and especially the defenders, they stood out. I'm really glad that our defenders, where the last season we always have been murmuring about the defenders, now this defensive performance has given something to cheer about. And the back four look pretty solid there, and I can see that this back four is the way to go to this season.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned Martinez there because I'm obviously a massive fan myself. I know you're a fan. A lot of people slating him in the first couple of.
And to touch upon one more thing about Martin is that I know that from his game in the last when he played, and again I knew that the criticism will come back again whenever he may not, our defense will not perform. Then the same criticism will come again that his height is not good enough for the Premier League. But I always know that he is a player who has been good in aerial. His stats says it so, and the league he was playing in, that was more aerial as compared to Premier League, and maybe close one. So
Yeah.
we can never say that his height is a concern. So yeah, we have seen that it's not a concern, and he actually won more aerial duels as compared to other defenders
Yeah.
in the last. Yeah, that
Yeah.
shows that
Exactly.
it's not a problem. It's never a problem. I'm sure that I know that again, if we have a bad performance again, fans may turn to him saying that his height is not good enough. But at the same time, we should reflect back to this Liverpool game and his performance.
Yeah, absolutely. In the same breath, he definitely needs plaudits for what he did on Monday night because I thought him and Varane looked incredible. My only worry is Varane staying fit so them two can stay together and develop a partnership. That's the only thing I have. I've just got a feeling before this, either this Southampton game or the Leicester game we've got after that, something's going to come out with Varane's on his knee in again. And then we've got to bring Maguire back into the squad who hasn't played. That's my only worry. We know what Varane's like, but fingers crossed he can stay fit. If he can stay fit for most of the season, I'll be all right. Just got a quick thing. Yeah, bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna go onto the YouTube comments if we've got any. Gonna jump into the FPL now, the roundup. So we're gonna, like I said, usual topics. We're gonna look at the top four. We're gonna look at Donkey of the Week. We're gonna look at top performing players. Just a few comments here. Ugly Bear, hey guys, how you doing? Vincent Bullock, hey guys, how you doing, lads? Usual guys who are in here. I like it. I like it. Regulars. Hope you're both doing all right. Yeah, let's start the roundup then, Dan. So we've got top of the league out of 109 people, I think it is, something like that. We have for the second week running midlife Chuck. He got a steady 56 points this week, but I think he's got a total of 226. Is it? Let me have a look. He's got 226. I'm glad I remembered that because my memory's usually shit. But yeah, he got 56 points this week, 226 in total. He or she had Kevin De Bruyne as captain and Wilfred Zaha, who scored 2 goals against Aston Villa. He's currently 20 points clear at the moment and keeping that momentum. He's going to take some catching, isn't he, Dan?
Yeah, exactly. And I know that in this FPL league is so crazy that even at the last game, everything can turn upside down because when you start using your wild cards, everything is possible. And to mention that last year I was playing this game, I was last in the table till the last 2 games, and I end up winning that league. So anything can happen. Yeah, so anything can happen because in the last games you will end up playing the wild card. So that's the place where you whole the season is decided. So yeah, but coming back to his selection about Zaha, to be honest, a couple of seasons back I had Zaha continuously in my team, but then in last season he was bit on and off. I mean, he's like a player who will suddenly click and score a couple of goals, and then he will go silent for many games. So it's going to be a tricky one for Zaha, but Salah. I think Salah, you can never be sad when you have Salah on your team.
Yeah, I was actually, I'm not just saying this because he got points, but I remember watching on Monday night. There's a clip on our Instagram where I said like Eze and Zaha were both terrorizing Liverpool last week when they played him. So I was looking at Zaha and I was like, I really want to bring him in, but because of the point you made there as well, he is inconsistent. So you just never know what you're going to get from him. But I think I've put him in my team now. So as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll bring in the points. Let's move on to top four. So as we move into there, there's 6 points between all three of them, basically, and obviously not including the top guy we just spoken about. Very tight. We have Ali FC on 206 points. We've got Sashin United on 203 points and Birds and Stones on 201. Ali FC had Tony, Jesus, and Salah all bagging goals for him or her. Sashin United had Saliba. I don't know. Did you see Saliba's goal over the weekend?
No, I have not seen him, but
Oh, watch it when you get a chance after this. Watch it for a centre back. It's a quality finish. But yeah, so Saliba got him a clean sheet and a goal against Bournemouth, and he also had Mo Salah as captain as well. And then Birds and Stones had Salah. He also had Jadon Sancho and Gundogan in their team, both scoring over the weekend. Don't forget, guys, whoever is at the top by the end of the season will win that retro football shirt. So keep smashing it, keep fighting for them points. You're all doing really well. It's interesting to see,
and
these
still you can
developments.
and still you can refer this league code and everything to your friends. Still they can join and be on the same points as they are gaining if they have joined this app from the very first game. So same points will be counted here as well. So still there is a chance you can join.
Yeah, is it the code SIBW60? Is it something like
Six
that?
three, yeah, 6-3.
6. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, we'll get Sam to put it in the comments. If Sam's still in the comment section, pop it in, and then you're still welcome to join. Anyone from the community is welcome to join. But Dan, just talk to me about some of them selections. Mo Salah as captain. Saliba, you said you didn't see, but Arsenal seem to be doing well defensively. Jadon Sancho scoring his first goal of the season at Old Trafford.
Yeah, Saliba, I think I was even scouting him for the last 2 games, so I think he is looking a bit promising. And I never wanted to say this, but Arsenal players are looking decent, and even defense side, if you consider Saliba, and I think he's available for a very cheap amount as compared to other players from Liverpool, the defenders from Liverpool, and and also to mention about Odegaard, so he's also looking very promising in their team. So I think I may also I will try to fit in Odegaard if I can, but I have already used one of my chance to do all the free transfers in the first half of the season. So I have to lose points. And just to mention about that, Shreyas actually he did something like 9 transfers and he ended up losing minus 36 or something, if I'm not wrong. Shreyas, if you are there in the comment. Yes,
Shreyas was that, did you say? He did
yeah.
9 transfers.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And he lost how many points?
4 into 9, 36.
Oh, my God. Oh, my
I'm
God.
not wrong.
Does he realize it? Did he realize like you get minus points when you do so? This is what I mean. I'm still trying to get to grips with it now because I don't like when I use the transfer hub. I know I keep mentioning this every roundup we do, but on the transfer hub, all that happens is the weekend starts and then you can make 3 transfers over the weekend. That's it, and you have 1 captain. When you come into this the Premier League app, you've got wild cards, free hits, vice captains, captains. Points for time on the pitch and stuff like that. Like it's just proper. I think they've over complicated it in my personal opinion, but it is. I'm trying to adapt.
You need separate study for this whole application. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to just like watch shitloads of YouTube videos on it or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, and you mentioned about Salah. Salah will always give you points, and even though he's not scoring, he will put an assist, give an assist. So anytime he will, and if Liverpool wins a penalty, he will take the penalty. So it is one of the key that whoever the penalty takers are there in the different teams, if you go for those players, you can end up gaining more points. So Salah is one of the players who scores goals, who assists, and who also take the penalties. So I don't think if anyone will not like to have Salah in their team unless he's having so much grudge about Liverpool.
Just super expensive, isn't it? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And the way the start to the season's gone, Dan, with half the stuff that's happened, like United getting beat to Brentford 4-0. I imagine some people at the start of the season may have had United defenders or Liverpool defenders, but Liverpool drew to Fulham 2-2. They drew to Palace 1-1. Had the player sent off in Nunes, and then we beat them as well 2-1. You've got Leeds who are near the top of the table, Newcastle doing very well. Like it's so unpredictable at the minute. So it makes FPL even more interesting and even harder to try to guess which players are going to do bits. But we are going to touch on that towards the end of the show. We're going to have our own kind of ones to watch for this weekend.
I bought Koulibaly and he got red.
Who was that?
Koulibaly.
Oh, Koulibaly, he got a red card. Yeah, quite a few people, including, lads from the channel. And this is something I want to take a look at. I want to see how everyone's getting on because obviously we've got the league with 109 people, but I want to see between us who's doing the best, like an inside kind of competition. So out of us at the minute, Surveyor's currently doing the best. He's gone from 34th to 16th at the minute. He had Perisic, Salah, and Rodrigo from Leeds, who had a great week. So shout out to Surveyor. He's currently leading the pack when it comes to the in-house competition. Dan, I'm going to let you talk me through your team, what was going through your head with the selections, where you currently sit in the league. From what I've seen, it looks like you're pushing up a little bit and you're not doing too bad, but talk to me.
Yeah, I did almost like 5 to 6 changes with the help of that free transfers. I used one of my card to make all the changes. But the thing is that if you have Salah and De Bruyne and Haaland in your team, most of your budget is already gone. Then you have to settle up with the mid-level players.
You have to put McTominay and Fred in your team, don't you, if you're going to balance it out.
and you just hope that they do something.
Yeah.
Hopeless.
Yeah. You're hoping for a Fred right footer, right, from outside the box just to get you a few points. But yeah, whereabouts are you sitting in the league at the minute? you say?
I think I'm somewhere in 50s.
I'll tell you now. I'll have a look. Because I think last week, you've definitely gone up from where I
Yeah.
saw. You were 60th or something, or 66th. I think you've gone up quite a bit, to be fair. Let me find you. Yeah, you're 41 in a minute. And so you've gone up, I think, almost 20 places near where Sevilla was last week. So you currently still chasing him, and you're second out of the lads in Real Red. So you're not doing too bad there.
Yeah. So with the defenders, I actually got an L with Koulibaly. So, but and couple of players who gave me the points, they are on bench. So
Yeah.
that was a big loss for me. So
Who have you got on your bench?
I'm not sure. They're from Crystal Palace. One from Crystal Palace,
I'll
and
tell you. I'll tell you what. I'll just get your team up, and we'll
yeah,
we'll have a look. So Mitchell, you had Pereira on the bench. You got your points, 8
I got
points.
it.
Wow,
Yeah,
Andreas Pereira, obviously Salah, Haaland, Watkins, but Koulibaly -2. Not great,
yeah.
is it? Not great at all. I think a lot of teams had Koulibaly, to be fair, because they thought they'd keep a clean
Because
sheet
he
against
actually
Leeds.
he scored a stunner last game, and many
Yeah.
people bought him, and he got a red.
I don't
So
think anyone saw them conceding 3 to Leeds, did they? This is what I'm saying about the Premier League. It's just a bit nuts at the minute. You don't have a clue what's going on. Yeah, let's move on to mine then. I myself I've gone above Sam in the league, but we're both on the same points. But I'll still take it. It's kind of like a little brotherly rivalry there. I'm 67th. Sam's currently 68th. In my team, I had Sancho, Perisic, and Saint Maximum. Who anyone who watched the Newcastle City game in brackets El Clasico, Saint Maximum absolutely tore that left hand side a new one. Did you watch the game, Dan?
yeah, he was again.
Yeah,
He
he was on
was
fire,
like,
wasn't
yeah,
he? Yeah, he looks insane. I feel like his end product's got a bit better now as well. Last season, he was always good at like 1v1, taking on people, making things happen. But then when he got to the final third, kind of similar a little bit to how Rashford is,
yeah,
his end product was terrible.
yeah.
So
Decision making.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I go on.
yeah. The team is improving. So Newcastle is improving day by day. So I think he will his playing his price will go up. I think maybe in couple of seasons he'll be playing for a very top club.
Yeah, I think if he was to go in from now, Newcastle probably ask for 50, 60 million at least, wouldn't they? I'd probably suggest. Who do you think will finish higher, United or Newcastle?
After last game, United.
Okay. I like it. Positivity. If I would have watched after Brentford, you probably would have said Newcastle, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right. All right. So yeah, I am just above Sam, but only on a technicality, probably alphabetical, 67th, 68th. Sam had Bernardo Silva on his bench, who I think he scored a couple of goals or got goals and assists, and he had Haaland as his captain as well. Did Haaland get an assist or a goal? Let me have a look.
He got a goal.
Yeah, so you had Gundogan score, Haaland score, and Bernardo. Yeah, so Bernardo Silva got a goal and assist, and Haaland got a goal as well. Yeah, on the score sheet. So he's another one like Mo Salah who's certified, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to bring in. Have you seen a comment or something that's made you laugh? I thought that's why he was laughing because someone's. Let me have a look at some of the.
I got. I was about to say you check the Shreyas team.
Straight. Oh, I'm gonna get to that. Don't worry, I'll get to that. So yeah, me and Sam close in the table. Adam, however, has gone down the league slightly. He had Erdegaard, who racked up 16 points for him, scoring 2 goals against Bournemouth. So Adam's down to 77th. Slowly getting closer to that donkey of the week. I hope one of us get donkey of the week just for 1 week, just so I can give him some shit. Are you thinking about bringing any Arsenal players into your team, Dan? I know you mentioned before. That you was looking at a couple before last weekend's game. Are you thinking about transferring any in now? You don't have to say who specifically, but are you thinking about
Yeah,
anyone?
I was actually thinking about 3 players from Arsenal. From defenders, Saliba, you mentioned there, and
Yeah.
from midfielders, I wanted Odegaard, and from the forward line, I think Jesus can be a prospect, but his price is not matching my budget. So we're planning for
We'll see what
Odegaard.
the Glazers done.
He's I think eight or something, but still I have Haaland, so I cannot buy anyone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Jesus.
I'm planning
Sorry.
for Odegaard, but I have to do a bit of tweak here and there, and because I already in the midfield I have De Bruyne and Salah, so It's going
Yeah.
to be very.
I'm thinking about bringing De Bruyne in because he's looks like he started off like a killer. He looks so good in every game. So De Bruyne is someone I'm looking at. But then I think in my team I've got Kane, Haaland, and Jesus up top. So I'm kind of like they're all kind of guaranteed to score goals. So do I take one out for De Bruyne, or this is like the thought process I'm going through? But yeah, I suppose you'll all find out on the weekend. We've then got poor Shreyas, who's having a bit of a mare at the minute. Dan said before he's used about 9 transfers and minus points off himself. He's actually below last week's donkey of the week, which was Archie Bolt, and now Shreyas sits in 105th in the league. He had Ollie Watkins and Erdegaard bringing in a big percentage of points for him. But apart from that, it was, a relative below average week, I think, for Shreyas. Very close to Donkey of the Week. So if you're watching Shreyas, or if you're going to be watching later, watch yourself because you're nearly bottom of the league, and we can't have that from Real Reds. We cannot have a member at the bottom.
It seems like Shreyas is there just to tell us like how many people are there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it would be killing him inside. I imagine he's quite a competitive figure, Shreyas, so I imagine he'll bring it back a little bit. Turning on to the actual Donkey of the Week, Dan. We've got a new one. It is no longer Archie Bolt. Archie Bolt was Donkey of the Week for 2 weeks in a row. It is now Danso FC, who actually he's on paper he hasn't got a bad team at all, and he's only just joined the league, so I think we can give him a little bit of slack in regards to that. But look, again, this weekend you've got lots of games coming up. You've got some tough fixtures in there. So if he wants to kind of redeem himself, he's going to have to make the right decisions because no one wants to be donkey of the week in this league. Looking at these fixtures, Dan, we've got Southampton versus Manchester United, 12 o'clock kickoff. Early kickoffs are never great. There's a saying in football that says never back the early kickoff. But how do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, that too an away game. So I hope that our team is able to continue their form for the last games and with the same confidence. But yeah, the afternoon games are pretty bad, and also that's an away game. But still, it's in Southampton, so we have on both sides we have the results from both the sides. We have beaten them with a very high scoring and also have lost with them. So it's going to be a very tricky one. But I hope
Yeah.
that Ten Hag still can pull out. But if we have the same defense.
Yeah, they leak quite a lot of goals, Southampton. I think already they've 2 games in and they've conceded 6 goals. But saying that, well, 3 games in, sorry, they've conceded about 7 goals. And we're the same. We've conceded the exact same. Because I think it was 2 against Brighton, 4 against Brentford, 1 against Liverpool. So I think it's going to be goals in that game, me personally. Moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Brentford versus Everton, Brighton versus Leeds, Chelsea versus Leicester, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, and Man City versus Crystal Palace. Give us your thoughts or score predictions on each one of them games.
I think for Brentford versus Everton, going to be a tough one because Brentford are looking solid.
You look all right, don't they?
Yeah, they're playing good, and I think they'll gain the confidence after beating us. So there's going to be a like equal game, 50-50. And coming on to the Leeds game, you know that whenever you play against Leeds, Leeds will give you goals, even though they lose it, but they will give you goals. And Rodrigo from Leeds is a good prospect. And I think last week Rodrigo was many players actually bought him. So Rodrigo can be a good shout there, and Brighton also they are scoring goals. So it's going to be both this Brentford versus Everton and Brighton versus Leeds going to be a tough games, both of them. And then it is followed by Chelsea versus Leicester. But for Chelsea, I'm not sure who is going to score. Uh, but it's going to be. But Leicester at the same time they are not in the top form. So
Battle,
you can,
battle for Fafana there, Dan.
yeah.
Obviously, Chelsea putting in numerous bids. I think he's not in the squad for Chelsea, so something going on there. Leicester have had a pretty shit start to the season. They've looked pretty flaky, and then Chelsea equally obviously lost last week to Leeds. So both teams will be looking to get on the score sheet, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. And Chelsea, they have not, even though they have the top defenders, but their defense is still leaking out. So I think we can see a lot of goals
Yeah.
from both the sides. So if you have some defenders from both the teams, then it's going to be a tough one because both the teams, there are high chances that both the teams will score. and if a team score, then defenders will not get the point. But coming on to the next game about Liverpool and playing Bournemouth at home, so there are
Mm.
high chances that Salah will score a couple of goals. So I think Salah can be kept as captain for this week because he's playing in the team who is coming from the second division, and they're playing at home and they want to bounce back from the last week's loss. So I think that's going to be a great prospect. And Manchester City and Crystal Palace. Again, I think it's going to be a one-sided game. I know that Crystal Palace they have been playing good recently, but City are playing at a very different level these days. And Haaland and De Bruyne, so even though they struggled a bit in the last game, but now I think against the small teams they can score a lot of goals. So I think De Bruyne and Haaland also can be a good prospect for the captaincy there. And Arsenal and Fulham,
Can I just on the City Palace game?
yeah,
I think Palace are a little bit of a bogey team for Man City. Like from last season, there's been times when Townsend, not last season, but the season before, where Townsend scored worldies, like volleys from like 30 yards, 40 yards. They've got draws, they've got some wins at times, I think at the Etihad as well. And the way I watched them set up against Liverpool, that counter attack with Eze and Zaha, sorry, was just absolutely deadly against a team that plays a high line, and City like to push up in that set formation. If they're not on it in terms of second balls and aggressive off the ball, I mean, Man City, Crystal Palace could have a field day in behind with them two players. So that's one I would watch out for. I don't think, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to be as simple as a lot of people think. I think Palace could give them a good game, but it also could swing the other way where they just get patted 5-0 and Haaland scores a hat trick. So you never know. But I think Palace will give them a good game. So moving on to the half-5 kickoff, Arsenal versus Fulham. Dan, what do you think?
I think with the form Arsenal are playing these days, they're going to win this game as well because Fulham. I'm not sure how they are performing in the table.
They're doing all right. Well, they've only got 2 points, haven't they? Well, they drew against Liverpool. They've drew against Wolves. And let me have a look very quickly. I'll get it up. I think they drew quite a lot of the games. So yeah, let me have a look. Yeah, so they beat Brentford, sorry, 3-2 over the
Mhm.
weekend. They've drew to Liverpool and they've drew to Wolves. So they're doing all right. They're not in bad form, to be fair. Like they was one of my picks to get back relegated to go down, but they've been performing okay. Pereira and Mitrovic doing bits.
They're scoring goals. Pereira is helping them.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
who knows that Pereira will score again in this game as well. But at the same time, you know that Arsenal are in a very good form at the moment.
Yeah,
But the top players to see watch out for from Arsenal would be same Jesus and Odegaard. So these two players uh,
yeah.
can score goals and may give an assist. So points from Odegaard and Jesus is expected in this game. But it's going
I'm
to be a tough
just
game. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just having a look at top of the league. Arsenal actually top of the league at the minute on 9 points, 7 goal difference. City and Leeds just behind them, and then Tottenham in fourth. So
Yeah.
Arsenal, the best team in form in terms of minute. They're the only team with 3 wins out of 3 in the first 3 games.
And they've conceded very less, only two
Yeah,
goals.
yeah. But in fairness, I will say they've played Palace, Bournemouth, and
Mhm.
Leicester. So it's not the hardest start because Leicester's had a poor start. Palace are all right, but then you've got Bournemouth who are a bit shaky defensively. So I think the real test, and they're playing Fulham, another newly promoted team. I think the real
Mhm.
test is when they start playing the likes of like Chelsea and Man City and us, of course. Like I think we've got them after the Leicester game, so I can't wait for that Arsenal United game. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, but
Um,
at the same time, this has to be the key for our team as well because you have to win those games which are winnable. That's where
yeah,
we lost the top four last season when we had that run of 13 games that were almost winnables, and we hardly win. I think 6 or 7 out of those 13. So that's
yeah.
where our season was turned upside down.
Absolutely. Moving on to Super Sunday, Aston Villa versus West Ham. Both teams in poor form, and you've got Wolves versus Newcastle. Wolves doing okay, holding their own, kind of drawing a lot again, and then Newcastle doing very well. How do you see them two going?
Yeah, it's like equal ties both of the games. Wolves they have still not come to that level at the moment, and they have bought one or two players, but they are still not act up like a team. So it may take some time for them to gel around. But Wolverhampton, they have always not been a team who score a lot of goals. But at the same time, they are a team who concede less goals because the way they play with five in the defense. So it's going to be a very boring game, I think. But yeah, at the same time, Newcastle is playing very good game. So I think in this, I predict that Newcastle will win this game.
Yeah, I thought they were super impressive against Man City. Like scoring 3 goals against Man City, no matter what team you are, is impressive. And yeah, Saint Maximum, and they just bought Alexander Isak as well, haven't they? From Real
Yeah.
Sociedad for 60 odd million. I don't think he'll be ready for this game, but he's a good signing for him. Provides competition in place for Callum Wilson. And then yeah, even Joe Linton, who they bought, who when Steve Bruce was in charge, looked just like looks shit. Everyone was like, "How have they paid £40 million for him? He looks awful." And then they dropped him from like striker into centre mid, and he's been playing really well in centre mid. So they've got quite a good. Trippier's done really well since he's come in. So they look like obviously a lot of it's to do with the money that's behind them and the money that's getting pumped into the club. But they're certainly rising, and I think they'll have a top half finish this season, in my personal opinion. So,
Maybe Europa League or Conference League season.
yeah, I think so. I think so, definitely. And look, I think Newcastle fans will be happy with that. You get into even the Conference League, they've got some
Yeah.
European football. They've got a massive fan base, Newcastle. So, yeah, they're looking good at the minute. And then the last game of the weekend, or obviously it's Monday, so the last game of the fixtures is Nottingham Forest against Spurs. Henderson had a decent game last season, kept him in it pretty much, played really well. But obviously Spurs are a solid team. They've got Conte as a manager. Their attack is dangerous as fuck. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a one-sided game with the Tottenham. They are improving day by day. They are gelling in around as a team well, and I think they're using their wing backs pretty well. So those wing backs can be a good prospect for our for the FPL. So if you have their defenders, their wing backs in your team, then definitely you will be expecting a lot of points. For example, Perisic.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, to be honest, I never thought that Perisic will be playing as a wing back, but it seems like he's playing on the and he's on in the defenders list, right? In the PL, I'm not having the player, but it seems that he's being set as a defender.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's and also he's available for very cheap. If I'm not wrong, around somewhere around 5.5.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so the wing backs can be very useful for from the Tottenham. So definitely goals are there, but and Kane, Son is there, so definitely goals will be there. And Nottingham Forest, we know that their first game was very good when they played against the top teams, but at the same time, it's all about the consistency. And Tottenham looks more consistent and will have a decent run on them.
Yeah. Jesse Lingard score a hat trick for Nottingham Forest. Who knows? Anything can happen in football. We were touching on selections. Then you've obviously gone through a few of yours as we was going through the fixtures. Just want to get some of mine in there. I think Liverpool will be looking to get a reaction because they're playing Bournemouth, and obviously they drew the first two, lost at Old Trafford, so they'll be hurting and they'll be like a wounded animal. I would look at transferring in Mo Salah and Luis Diaz. That's what I'm looking at heading into this weekend. City scoring a lot of goals, like we said before. De Bruyne in flying form. Haaland pretty much guaranteed to get a goal every single game. So De Bruyne and Haaland I would look at. And then Arsenal, I would get Martinelli or Jesus when they're playing Fulham. I think they're at the Emirates as well. Are they? Have a look. Arsenal. Yeah, I think they're at home. So again, even more of an advantage. So they selections, guys, make your own minds up, transfer in whoever you want. That's what fantasy football is all about. But that would be my advice heading into this weekend. I'm starting to go like that up the table now. Dan's starting to go up the table. Survey's starting to go up the table. Sam's starting to go up the table. It's just Adam and Treyas who are going more towards Donkey of the Week. But you never know. We could have a top four of Survey, Dan, me, and Sam, and we'll be fighting for our own kind of retro jersey. Who knows what happens? But exciting times. Everyone's performing really well, obviously, aside from the bottom. With Treyas transferring in about 9 players. Maybe don't use that as a tactic heading into this weekend. But yeah, as ever, we will be back with the same roundup and this time next week. Have you got any other final thoughts, Dan? on the FPL?
No, I think it's first game of the week we'll be playing, so going to be a tough one. And I hope people will get in United players in their FPL team, and that's where
Yeah,
you see that confidence is coming back.
yeah,
As a like the amount of players you have in your team as a Manchester United fans, that really shows that how your team is performing. So yeah, I had them in my team at the initial days after seeing the pre-seasons games. Then I had to switch to some other players. But now I'm thinking back, like bringing back Sancho because he is a very decent. He's like available for 8 or something, so
yeah,
he's going and he'll be playing regular football. So that one of the areas you have to see that the players are playing the regular football. So Sancho will be playing regularly, and you know that the ability he has, he'll be scoring goals, he'll be providing assists. So the points are always there around him. So yeah.
yeah. I had Sancho in my team. I've always had faith, Jaden. I've had him in since the start because I thought we all said, didn't we? He would be the most exciting player under Ten Hag, and I think we'll start to see that now as the games slightly go on. I've also transferred in Varane as well because I think they'll keep a clean sheet against Southampton, but we'll see what happens with that. That is the transfer roundup and FPL round, not the transfer roundup. We haven't spoken about any transfers whatsoever. That is the FPL roundup complete. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Be sure to follow us on social media for regular news updates, which Dan is absolutely class at on Twitter. Every 5-10 minutes, you've got updates on transfers. So check our Twitter out. And yeah, check our Instagram out for content schedules and regular Instagram lives. And there's plenty more. All the socials are at the bottom. So just hit them up. And yeah, thank you for joining, Dan. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next time this week for the same roundup. Peace.
Yes.